All right. Happy Friday, everybody. How we all doing? Good Friday to all of you out there in the interweb lands. Hope everybody's doing well. You know the routine. We're gonna just take a minute here to get a few people on and get this going. If you jump on, let me know you're out there. Say hello. And we'll get this party started here in just a few. I'm excited about this week's show. I like what's going on. A lot going on this weekend. A lot to celebrate and remember. Um, all right. How's everyone doing? Let's go ahead and get started. A lot to cover and little time to do it. This weekend, very important week. Back up here. This past week, yesterday. Yesterday was a very important day in our nation's history. December 7th, we remember the attack on Pearl Harbor, December 7th, 1941. And we remember the greatest generation at that time and what happened then. We always want to remember that. How many people that watch this, how many people have been to Hawaii? Have anybody been to the Pearl Harbor memorials and stuff like that out there? I've never been. I would like to at some point in my life. But Barry, what's up, brother? Good morning. How you doing? I see you on. Who else is out there? Let me know you're out there. So yesterday we remember Pearl Harbor. Tomorrow is the most important college football game. It's called the America's game. It's tomorrow is the Army Navy game. Tomorrow is the, I think, 123rd, 124th meeting of Army Navy. And this year it's being held in Boston, Massachusetts. And it's kind of they did it on purpose. I think it's the first time it's being held in Boston in all the years. Because this year Boston is celebrating the 250th anniversary of the Boston Tea Party up there as well. And I'll get into that here in just a few. But back to this, you can see I'm representing the West Point. This shirt I actually got at Army Navy several years ago. Couldn't make it this year. Sad about it. Actually, I'm kind of depressed about it, quite frankly. But a lot of exciting stuff I believe that's going to be coming up with the HMG and West Point athletics in 2024. We've been talking, and hopefully we'll be able to get up there for some of their spring ball next year and cover more games and stuff up there next year. But and we'd like to do that with anybody that's at the Naval Academy. We'd like to do that with you guys as well. If you've never been to an Army Navy game, I think it's the greatest matchup. I think it's the greatest college game ever. You know, and I'll argue that until the cows come home, because I've been to a lot of different college football games, rival games. You think about different rival games. You get the Florida teams, and you got Midwest teams, and you divided up by divisions or conferences, excuse me, and most of those conferences are leaving. But you can't. I don't think there's a college rivalry out there that can hold a feather to the Army Navy rivalry. Started very first Army Navy matchup was in November 29th, 1890. That was the first Army Navy matchup. And Navy, well, we don't need to go into the records uh, or whatnot, but Navy's got most of the W's. But the Army's starting to make a bit of a comeback here these last few years. Um, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens this year. Both schools, tough years. I think Army is like 5-6, and I think Navy's like 4-4 record wise. I think something like that. So nonetheless, but here's the thing: win or lose doesn't matter. It is America's game. Everyone on that field is a hero, right? Everyone out there is after graduation going to serve our country, and I think that's just absolutely awesome. Having attended several Army Navy games, there's nothing like the history and the traditions that go along with this game. Being on the field. I remember one year being on the field as the academies were marching in, and it was just very proud moment. Some of the best things that it's just an amazing experience. If you've never been, put that on your bucket list. Go to an Army Navy game. Christina, good morning. Sweetheart, how are you, sis? Good to see you. Steve Williams, to see you on there, brother. How you doing, bro? Good to have you on. So yeah, Army Navy game is tomorrow. In the comments, who do you got winning this game? I think it's gonna be a barn burner. Personally, I think it's gonna come down to a last second field goal. That's what I think. I think it's gonna be a close game. Steven says go Navy. Our Marine Corps veteran says go Navy. Yep. So I've also mentioned this. It's in Boston this year. 17-13 Army. Wow. Whoa, we got our first prediction. Wow. Okay. Look at that. We put that up there. 17-13 Army. All right. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a close game. I think it's gonna be a close game. Um, it's in Boston this year. Something else that's going on in Boston this weekend is the 250th anniversary of the Boston Tea Party. And they're doing reenactments of it tomorrow. Tomorrow, tomorrow morning, I think. There's so much going on in Boston, uh, good and bad. Um, this weekend, but they're doing a reenactment of the Boston Tea Party for the 250th anniversary of the Tea Party. So I think that's pretty cool. So anybody that's up there, hey, listen, if you're watching this and you're at Army Navy this weekend, or you're up in the Boston area going to some of the festivities that are going on up there, tag us, let us know. We'll share it. I'd love to see what's going on because I wasn't able to make it this year. So let us know, please. All right. What else do we got? Yeah, I am going to bring it up. A lot of things going around about some controversy going on around about the Army Navy and Boston this weekend. There's a lot saying a lot of people are missing out on their hotels and stuff, that they're giving those hotel reservations and stuff to uh, immigrants or legal aliens coming in, what have you. I don't know how true that is. I've heard some stories, people that I know, a few of my contacts that have gone up there that, one said that it's happened. So I'm curious if anybody else has heard anything about that as well, or is that just something that the media is trying to stick a dagger in? So anyway, this is when they say this really is the most wonderful time of the year, I think it is. And Christmas is around the corner. Sure, great, but before Christmas, you have Army Navy game, and I have you know I didn't go to either one of the academies. I got no ties to them. Actually I do. I got ties to the West Point. My uncle went there, and several business associates that I've worked with through the last half dozen years have attended there. Great, and both sides. I've got friends who went to the Naval Academy. I have um, friends and colleagues that have gone to West Point. All great people. This is such a fun weekend, and it's so much fun. I really can't. It's just a really good time. I'm hoping, and I'm putting this out there, so anybody up at West Point or anybody at the Naval Academy that sees this, I am hoping that HMG can sometime next year. I would like for HMG to hold a tailgate party, and I want HMG to be able to bring a few veteran families to the game next year. So, those of you that are watching this or whatnot, if that's something you're interested, let's make that happen next year. Let's hold a party next year at let's do a tailgate and let's take people to the event. What's that going to entail? It's going to entail your guys' help, and we'll get into that more in probably January, February, what we need to make that happen. Probably have to do a fundraiser or something like that. But let's see if we can't make that happen next year. I think that'd be pretty cool. Steve, what do we have here? Photograph 3 games. Nice. It is an epic environment, man. You can't beat Army Navy game. You really can't. The first year I went was the year that Army broke the streak. It was in Baltimore at MT&T Stadium. Cold stadium. It's a windy stadium. And it was oh god, 2016, I think. It was like when President Trump was before he was president. Secret Service was all over the place. Everything was on lockdown. VIPs were there. It was so cool. But I remember being on the field during the coin toss. I remember being on the field as the teams were running in. I did one of the most watched videos that we've had for a flyover. We did was there. You can find that on YouTube. But it's just that the hype and the energy, and it's like nothing else, and it is so much fun. So I hope, if anything, if you can't attend this weekend, I hope everybody gets a chance to watch it, because these young these young heroes, and that's what they are. They're going to be part of the military moving forward after graduation. Hats off to them. It's a hell of a tradition, and hopefully everybody gets a chance at one point to do it, or at least watch it this weekend. So that's Army Navy. So, and again, in the comments below, I got several of you watching. Who's rooting for who this weekend? All right. Let's get into some of the topics, some of the headlines this week. Florida lawmakers file a bill prohibiting lab-grown meat. This was pretty interesting. We're starting to see more and more of this, I think, across the board. As outlined in the bill, cultivated meat is defined as a meat or food product produced from cultured animal cells. Now, this is coming from Florida Voice News. Under HB 435, it would be illegal to manufacture, sell, or distribute cultivated meat in the state of Florida. Restaurant businesses or store owners that are found to be in violation of this would be subject to having their license revoked upon conviction, and also there'd be some fees and whatnot. And this also goes to the employees that have found to have broken the law selling meat, fake meat, in the state of Florida. Are we going to start seeing more and more pushback on this fake meat products? You look at Bill Gates. Everybody knows that's my favorite person to talk about. A lot of the stuff that he's been doing. He recently purchased one of the largest companies for apple cider vinegar, and he automatically changed the recipe to it. You're seeing more and more people. There are restaurants in Vegas that are serving lab grown meat. Or there's one particular, I don't remember the name of it. I don't have it here right now. Look it up, but lab grown meat. Look it up. What are your thoughts on it? Leave a comment below. Next up, something else that's been happening a lot. Yeah, there's a sheriff down in Arizona, Sheriff Lamb, made a comment earlier this week that migrants are given $5,000 gift cards after crossing the border. Now, there's been a lot of controversy about this statement that he has made, and a lot of news organizations. Some of them are coming out saying, "Yeah, it's true," and others, most are the mainstream media is coming out and saying, "No, that's a false statement. That's not what's actually happening. It's not the government that's giving it these gift cards. It's a nonprofit organization that seems to be giving." Gift cards to these immigrants as they cross the border. Look this up. In this particular headline was coming out of Newsweek this week. You're seeing different stories from the different. There's not usually when you see a headline, mainstream media it gets flooded across all of them, and it's all the same shit, right? Excuse me, all the same stuff. This one here is a little different. You're seeing different headlines and different stories, and who's kind of pointing the finger at who. Is the government giving money to illegal immigrants as they cross the border? What are your thoughts? And let's speaking of the border and tying in with the illegal immigrants crossing. This also going on this week. The Department of the VA, Department of Veterans Affairs, under fire for treating illegal aliens while ignoring care for veterans. The title on that one seems a little deceiving, but the Department of Veterans Affairs has taken heat for putting care of illegal immigrants first over the needs of those who have fought for our country. The Department of Veteran Affairs and Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, reportedly have an agreement to process claims for illegal migrants' medical care. Explained by the VA, they had internal agreement with the Health Service Corps, or the IHSC, since 2002 to provide processing. The organization noted that it is not the VA's responsibility to offer or pay for health care. He said that Congress needs to launch an investigation to get more information on this agreement. So there is an agreement between allegedly there's an agreement. Let me say that. There's an agreement between ICE and the Department of Veteran Affairs to process illegal aliens as they cross over. Now, those of you that are watching, again, if anybody has any information on this, please post it. Let us know or whatnot. But this seems to be a lot. This is going around on social media quite a bit with the VA kind of pushing aside veterans to take care of these immigrants that are illegal aliens that are crossing and coming into the country first. I've heard a few stories happening down south where something like this has happened. Social media, there was a gentleman that came on. He said he was having issues, went to the VA, said they couldn't help him. They had other people in front of him and they were all illegal aliens. Now, whether it was true or not, I don't know. That you got to take what you see on social media for a grain of salt. But more and more people are coming out, speaking out about the Department of Veteran Affairs pushing veterans to the side and taking care of these illegal aliens as they cross over the border. I think if that is the case, and if that is what's happening, shame on the VA for doing that. I think we have a lot of veterans have a hard enough time kind of navigating through the VA system that they really shouldn't be making it harder for the veterans. The VA was there established to take care of the veterans, and then the veterans should come first, right? If you disagree with me, please leave a comment. Let me know. I'd be curious to hear everybody else's thoughts on this. So the VA, if that's what's going on, shame on you. Here's a topic that I just find absolutely hysterical. Private jets head for Dubai for the global warming conference, reportedly seen frozen. I don't know if you guys have seen this on social media or not, but there's been these private jets, like these Gulfstreams and stuff, in Munich, Germany, frozen. Europe is under a lot of snow right now, apparently, and these jets were frozen. And all these flights are getting delayed or canceled that were supposed to go down to Dubai. But it's funny because it's the global warming conference, and you have all of these private jets flying in to talk about global warming. Somebody please explain to me where the F that makes sense. Where does that make sense? And you're talking about, a few hundred, about 100 or so plus, 100 plus private jets flying into the global warming. Now, this global warming conference was created by our friends at the United Nations. And I say our friends very sarcastically. You guys know me. The global warming conference. So it's one of those, like, the world elites are flying in to talk about global warming for everybody else but themselves. That's all I'm going to say. Don't take my word for it. Read it, look it up. And here's the other thing that's funny about this is when you look up global warming conference this year, you don't find a lot of articles. You might find one or two. They don't talk about it a lot. Yeah. I'm gonna put this up there. Steven made a good comment here. Let's show this here. Global warming is just another money-making racket. Yeah. Yeah. Do I believe there is such a thing as global warming? Sure, a little bit. It's been warming up the last billion years, right? But if the people that are telling us that we should worry about global warming, but yet they're buying oceanside properties and houses and mansions, that puzzle that doesn't fit. Or does it? Nah, I don't think it does. I'm gonna call BS on that one. Next one. We got let me see here. Yeah, that's Steven. I hear you there. Next one, we got court orders Texas to move floating buoy barrier that drew backlash from Mexico. Let me apologize here quick, folks. I just realized that a lot of the stuff headlines were coming from the border. That wasn't necessarily my intent. It just kind of happened that way. Circuit Court came down to Texas and said, hey, Governor Abbott, you need to remove the buoy barrier in the Rio Grande, and you need to do it now. And they say it happened because it was backlash from Mexico. If you look, there's another article, I forget who, but they said something along the lines of it's a humanitarian issue because these people that are trying to cross and that buoy's in their way, that people could drown and what have. Well, here's a thought: don't cross there. It's just an idea. I don't know. Maybe do it right. I have no problem. Listen, I have absolutely no problem people coming into this country. None. As long as you do it right. There's a lot of people that are in this country that have took the time to do it right and to become citizens of this great nation of ours. I had no problem with do it that way. The problem is when you just try sneaking in and doing X, Y, and Z, and we're people are paying the taxes and anyway. I'm not going to get into that. This is going to be a positive show this week. Should Texas remove the barrier? What are you guys' thoughts on that? I think it's interesting to see a lot of the stuff that's going on right now. Steven says, "Don't put razor wire on fences next to prisons. Criminals might get hurt." Well, no. Is it frustrating to see what's going on? It is, but it's like what's our reaction to this stuff going to be? How can we make it better? Right. First and foremost, we need to educate ourselves. The headlines that I read to you guys every week, mind you, don't take my word for it. I give them out there. Look this stuff up, please. And if you disagree with me, I would love to hear why you disagree with me. Tell me you disagree with me, and let's have a conversation about it. Because me, one way or the other, doesn't matter. I'm just putting this stuff out there. That's it for the headlines. Let's talk about a contest. That's the word I was looking for. Contest coming up here very soon, and I was not ready for this. I'm throwing off the cuff here. We are doing a HMG ugly sweater contest. HMG ugly sweater contest. Now, the contest is going to take place December 15th through the 17th. December 15th through the 17th. I'm going to see if I can post it on the comment section here. Can I? No, it's not letting me. I'll post it again. If you look at the HMG Facebook page, you'll see it. HMG ugly Christmas sweater contest. Here are the rules. Between December 15th and the 17th, post a picture of you in an ugly sweater. I don't want a picture of just a sweater. It's got to have your face in the sweater. It's got to be a picture of you in the sweater. We will pick a random winner. I say we're going to, we got a judging panel, and we will pick a winner. The winner is going to win a $25 gift card from Amazon, a 1-pound bag of HMG beverage coffee, and 2 of the HMG coffee mugs. Second place winner will win a 1-pound bag of coffee and a coffee mug. So if you win, you get a gift card and some coffee. If you take second place, you can get some coffee. Thought it'd be something fun to do this holiday season. So get your ugly sweaters ready, because that's coming up on the 15th. What else did we now? Last week we talked about what did we talk about last week as far as the Christmas stuff goes? Ugly sweater contest. 2 questions. Do you have a good screen printer? Do you have an ugly? No, to both of those. Last week we talked about ugly sweaters, and we talked about songs, best songs, right? We mentioned favorite Christmas songs. I got to post that, I think, this week. I think this week will be the Christmas songs, and then the following week we'll talk about I talked about the movies last week. Favorite Christmas movies. Now we did share the Christmas movies already. Bad Santa was one, or Elf, right? Those are Christmas movies. What else was there? There was probably the greatest Christmas movie of all time, Miracle on 34th Street. You have National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, classic. The Christmas Story, or A Christmas Story. So we'll talk more about those this this coming up week as well. Let me see here. What else? Oh, so I'll tell you a little bit about. I guess I should. This is the beginning of the show. Went to a Christmas special. Mrs. HMG took me to a concert last night. Wednesday night we went to see Pentatonics in Hershey, Pennsylvania. We drove up over to Hershey, and not something I would say is in my like repertoire things like I would do like, oh, I need to go see this or whatever. Um, Surprised. I was surprised. They put on a very, very good concert. Um, it was a Christmas special, and it's a group that's all a cappella, and it turned out very, very well. I was impressed. There was a section in there where that one of the guys beatbox and played the cello at the same time. So it was very interesting. Those of you that are like that kind of thing, maybe check out Pentatonics schedule and go check them out. That's definitely a show I would go see their Christmas special for sure. Steve, what do we got here? Polar Express, yeah, Trapped in Paradise. The Christmas. I haven't even heard of that one. Okay, man. Steve, just keep pumping out the movies there, bud. All right, again, guys, if you're watching this or if you check this later on throughout the weekend, two things I want you to think about. If you've gotten this far into the show and you're watching and you haven't left a comment, leave a comment. Who's winning the game this weekend? Army or Navy? What say you? Who you rooting for this weekend? And then also post your favorite Christmas movie. What is your favorite? No, I'm sorry. Post your favorite. We got to do songs. That's the next one. Post your favorite Christmas song. Favorite Christmas song. That's going to be this coming week. All right, let's get into the shows this week. What did you miss on your favorite podcast this week? Well, let me tell you something. First off, in the queue, Be Relentless has rebranded and changed its name to the John Mayo Podcast. Big John Mayo. John's a great guy. Love John. This week, he had. Oh, you know what? I'm doing. No, we're gonna do it a little differently this week. John Mayo podcast this week. We're talking with Tim Myers. Tim and John expand on what you should do if you're curious about the Waymaker community. In other words, what the community has to offer to those who desire to cultivate a fierce inner circle and forge discipline, strength, and resilience in the Waymaker community. Now, if you're not familiar with the Waymaker community, this is a community that that John has created, and it's pretty awesome. They got a lot of great tools and resources there. Gabe, what's up, brother? About time you get on here. Been waiting for you, man. Appreciate you jumping on. Thank you. So check that out. That's the John Mayo podcast, and check out his Waymaker community. Good stuff. Next up, we have the Hero Academy with your host, Super Dave. This week, from patrol to paperback, a cop's transition to authorship. Christopher Hoyer was a retired police officer, individual with a remarkable structure and resilience, was raised in the New England area, talks about his life as a cop, and then as he transitions into becoming a published author. Great episode this week. Check it out. That is the Hero Academy with host Super Dave. What else? Next up, we got. What do we have next? You know what? I'm going to go to this. Keeps me on track with stuff here. Beyond the Rut. Beyond the Rut this week. Prevent leadership burnout and thrive. Insights from Michael King. That is the special guest this week that host Jerry from Beyond the Rut has. Michael King, a former executive pastor and Christian recording artist, transitioned his career in 2015 to offer expertise to Fortune 500 companies. He specializes in guiding C-suite executives to create thriving and successful teams while preventing leadership burnout. In this episode, some of the things that you can expect to get from is boost your impact and influence your career journey, reverse burnout through strategic evaluation and action, and a whole lot more. Discover the power of quit hiring and resource allocation. This was a pretty cool episode. Very interesting. You're going to get a lot of notes from it, especially you entrepreneurs out there. Check this out. It's Beyond the Rut. Next up, Label Free Podcast this week. Dana Diaz, author, best-selling book, Gasping for Air, The Stronghold of a Narcissistic Abuse. Dana shares her personal story of enduring narcissistic abuse, both as a child and in her marriage. She discusses how she internalizes the abuse and allowed herself to be controlled by her narcissistic partner. She opens up about the physical toll and the abuse it took on her health, leading to a rare lung syndrome and autoimmune disease. Despite the challenges, she found strength to leave her abusive marriage and reclaim her life. She emphasizes the importance of listening to your gut and following your instincts when it comes to relationship. Her book offers support, guidance for those that experience narcissistic abuse. So check that out. That's this week's Label Free Podcast. What do we got next? Next up, we have Other Side of the Firewall. Love this show. They do a show every day, Monday through Friday. Some of the topics this week: Apple's name drop is dangerous. They also did, for all you Windows user out there, Windows Hello Fingerprint authorizing flaw. There, I said it. Gee, I cannot say that. Cybercrime gang files SEC claim on victim. So this is all this is Other Side of the Firewall IT show. You're going to learn a lot, and some of the stuff that you learn is disturbing. What most people don't pay attention to that should. Check it out. Great episode. Very educational. Other Side of the Firewall. Let's check it out. All right. Next up, we have The Decision Hour with yours truly. That show's actually coming out later today. So stay tuned for that. Time to shine today. Emmy nominated and award-winning performer Larry Wilson joins the show this week. Larry's journey is inspirational, and a tale all rolled into one. The power of active listening. Don't let others feel invisible. That's the big lesson this week. The power of active listening. Don't let others feel invisible. This was a great, really cool episode. Check it out. It's time to shine today. All right, what else we got? Because Bikers Matter. This week, special guest Billy Gray. He's a United States Marine Corps veteran and the founder of Support Our American Military Veterans, SOAMV. The mission of SOAMV is to reach and support veterans in a way that organizations may not. Billy explains that all the donations go directly to veterans in need without any salaries being taken by the volunteers or the people of the organization. They also talk about a recent event that happened at a local VFW. And if you're not familiar with Billy Gray, look him up. He's a country music artist, great American. Great singer. Check it out. This was just a really cool episode. Check it out. Because Bikers Matter. I see I got some comments up there. I'll check out those here in just a minute. Let me get through these here. Next up, we got the Misfit Nation with our man Rich. This week, Rich does a couple of shows throughout the week. One that launched, I believe this was yesterday, Empowering Lives Through Safety and Self-Defense, a conversation with John Brewer. Drawing from his extensive experience of training and collaborating with indigenous forces in conflict zones, John's mission is clear: to empower individuals to safeguard themselves and others against violent crimes. This was a very eye-opening, great interviews. Check it out, Misfit Nation. What do we got next? Arms Room Show. This week, they're discussing building and maintaining mental and emotional strength. Building and maintaining mental and emotional strength. Great episode. Check it out. It's the Arms Room. Next up, we got Chasing Happiness. The ever-inspiring Kelly Swanson joins the show for a deep dive into the paradox of happiness. Channeling the energy of Tony Robbins, this episode is a witty educational roller coaster that explores the idea that while happiness is an internal achievement, it often kickstarted by our external world. So check it out. That's Chasing Happiness. Good show this week. I'm pretty sure I just spit on myself. All right. Next up, we got what do we got next? The Joel Evans Show. Joel's done a couple of episodes this week, and you really got to check it out. Earlier in the week, he did one on TRT, testosterone and hormone show. One I'm going to talk about right now. Retired firefighter of 18 years, Nick Wingo, shares how he overcame PTSD and building a new identity after leaving his profession. They also get into some of his new ventures in the IV therapy world and how things like NAD plus can be a game changer for mental health, brain fog, addictions, and even PTSD. Listen to this episode. Watch this episode. It's the Joel Evans Show. Check it out. Next up, we got your 6 at 6 with the People's Patriot Project. They're doing, man, these guys they're all over the place, and I absolutely love it. They're doing a couple of shows each week, but this particular one, Sunday night, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. They get singers, veteran music artists from all over the place on the show. They do like a roundtable type show, and it's a lot of fun to watch. It's great to listen to. Check it out, the People's Patriot Project. Then show wise, well, it's the last one for this week. We have the S3 with JD and Lady M. They're going back to the NFL yard sales, trying to find a bargain on a running back. Plus, they go over this week's NFL Week 14 schedule, give their locks, and then they talk about tomorrow's upcoming Army-Navy game. JD is an Army veteran himself, so awesome stuff. Sponsors, real quick, let me get to those, and then we're going to go back to the comments here. Go check out our friends over at Forget Genetics. All you hunters out there, I'm telling you, this stuff, this will it's a game changer. Go to forgetgenetics.com. Get your order in today. Use promo code HMG for 10% off. Motorcycle safety lawyers, get them. If you're on a motorcycle, you should have them on speed dial. Got a whole brewing over in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. Thank you very much. Feed the people, buy the people. I can't believe I forgot this. Feed the people, buy the people. New podcast coming to HMG here in the next couple of weeks. Feed the people, buy the people. They're actually on the website right now, so go check them out. Home Studios, make sure you check them out. The Freedom People. I haven't been talking much about them yet. We're going through the process, but this is something here in the next 2 weeks you're really going to want to pay attention to. Go to thefreedompeople.org. Check them out. We're at the end of the year, right? Tax season is right around the corner. You need somebody that's going to take care of you the right way. Go check out our friends over at mytaxfella.com. Anthony Moriello, great friend of mine. He's been doing our taxes both personally and professionally for the businesses for the last well over a decade now. So go check them out, mytaxfella.com. Alibi Tattoo. If you need some ink done, or you need that regretting tattoo that you got when you were younger and you need that removed, they can help you out. Go check them out, alibi tattoo.com. HMG Beverage, our sister company, go check them out. We are taking orders up until next Tuesday, and then we're going to be out of the office. So we got some, and we have a new decaf that's coming out at the beginning of the year. We're just waiting for the labels. That's why we haven't posted anything on it. But thank you to all of you who are our monthly subscribers and our new clients that are coming up in 2024. That we'll be making more announcements to that. So thank you for that. Jim Neary's Bait and Tackle. I'm actually going to go see them here after the show. I'm gonna head down there to old Jim and go see my friends Jim and Gina down at Jim Neary's Bait and Tackle, and our friends down there, Warriors on the Water. Go check them out. Also, Sisu Stamina. If you need a Christmas stocking stuffer idea, go check this stuff out. Sisu Stamina. I love this stuff. It's from our friends over at Universal Learning Approach. You get brain fog, or you just kind of like, I need that extra kick in the ass in the afternoon to get going, to finish up everything. This stuff is great. Go check it out. Sisu Stamina. Also, Ops Lens, another organization that we are working with. It's a media company. They're based out of Florida. Great organization. Check them out. opslens.com. And then last, certainly not least, our good friend of mine, JB Auto Clothiers. You need a suit, you need a sport coat, you need a tux, you need a shirt, you need a tie, maybe a bow tie. JB Auto Clothiers has got you covered. Let's set you up and get you suited right. All right. JBAutoClothiers.com. Go check them out. All right. Let's get back into the comments here. What do we have? David. David. Hey, man, that's all right, brother. I get it. You're busy, but not an issue. I'm around this weekend. So hit me up this weekend. What else do we got, guys? What else? I'm gonna I'll wait another minute, see if any of the comments come in. Again, don't forget December 15th through the 17th, the HMG Ugly Sweater Contest. Winner, $25 gift card from Amazon, 1 pound bag of coffee, and 2 HMG beverage mugs. All right. Second place winner, bag of coffee and 1 mug. All right. And you can go to, if you want to check out the coffees and figure out which ones you want, you can go to hmgcoffee.com or hmgbeverage.com to check it out. Shows that weren't mentioned today, that didn't have a episode out, you can check out all the great shows that we have right now on heroesmediagroup.com. Go to hmg.com or go to hmgpodcast.com, and you'll see all the shows that are on the network right now. Here's the thing, in 2024, we're growing and we want to continue growing. If you have a podcast and you want to grow your audience, we help you do that. If you're looking to start a podcast, that's something that we can do. Whether it's you're starting a podcast or you need help editing your podcast, we offer all of these services to you. Please reach out to us, leave us a direct message us here in the comments below, or simply email info@heroesmediagroup.com, and let's set up a phone call to get you more listeners or get you started on your podcast journey. For all you authors out there, those of you that have a book and you're thinking about turning it into an audiobook, something we specialize in. We've been doing it for years. We've got a dozen books under our belts now. Reach out to us. We can help you create your audiobook and do it right. So we'll handle all that stuff for you. So all of you, thank you. It's been a great show, I think, this week. I appreciate all you jumping on. Thank you for all the comments. Make sure you guys share this so we can continue to grow this community in 2024. We got a couple weeks left here in 2023, and there's going to be some announcements coming up. Next week, we're not here. Next week, we're going to be in Wisconsin, so the scenery and the backdrop will be a little different next week as well, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, again, who do you got winning tomorrow's Army-Navy game? Just saying. And you guys notice I went back to the red, white, and blue tie as opposed to the Christmas tie, because tomorrow is America's game. So have a great weekend. Get out of the house. Stay warm. Watch the game tomorrow. And remember, folks, think for yourself. God bless you. God bless America. We'll see you guys next week.